There was once upon a time, far away, a small castle within the mountains. In front of the gate were 4 students eager to learn. Some of them traveled far distances to be there. Every 15 years, young apprentice would show up in front of this castle in order to learn the amazing secrets the occupant master would be willing to teach them. An old man opened the door to check the new apprentices. These little apprentices would one day wield great powers. Indeed, in this small mansion, lost within the mountains, would be taught a very special skill, the skill of the magic disc. When formed, this disc would become incredibly sharp and known to be able to cut through anything, giving its wielder an amazing power. For years, the students would be practicing this magic, showing little to no success at first. To make matters worse, a rivalry would always arise between students as to who would be the favorite of the master. One day, many years later, as Triton was practicing, one messenger came from far away to deliver one message. Laodicea was worried, as the family of Triton were poor people, and it was very expensive to send a message, especially to such a remote location. Bad news they were indeed. This message informed Triton of his father's death. with great sadness, he ran in the woods while Laodicea was running after him. Laodicea found Triton crying in the woods. He seemed to be overwhelmed by the pain of his recent loss. However, Laodicea explained to him that this was part of life. Laodicea seemed to have been successful to alleviate his pains, and so they were both walking back to the tower through those woods. As she was walking Triton back, she accidentally stepped on something rather odd and sticky. It looked like a kind of spiderweb. She lifted her foot, trying to inspect what was that she stepped on. Triton was rather surprised. Suddenly, this web started to pull Laodicea violently within the bushes. Triton immediately ran in those bushes and started to search for his friend. He realized that she was nowhere close. He started to follow the tracks left by his friend, and he realized that these were taking him to a minute hole. He slowly started crawling within this hole, and he soon realized that it was taking him in the depth of hell. He found bones, mud, and a stinking stench rising from within. Once entering the main chamber, he found more bones and countless beings wrapped up in what it seemed to be like some spider web. At this moment, Triton understood that the situation would get difficult very quickly. He spotted his friend Laodicea, and she was being wrapped up by a hideous monster, a huge spider. Triton was absolutely terrified. However, he had no intentions to abandon his friend. As he was running to the rescue of his friend, trying to scare the beast, however, fate was unkind, and the hideous monster sunk his fangs inside the body of Laodicea, spreading its deadly venom. Fueled with rage and anger, Triton joined his hands together and, for the first time in many years, created a magic disc of destruction. Triton threw the disc, and this one traveled through the cave. This disc of death reached the hideous spider, and this one was cut in two. The conclusion of his years of learning came to an end. Unfortunately, Triton had no joy in this accomplishment, as his friend was lying there dead in his arms. The old master decided to expel Triton from his school. He considered Triton responsible for one of his students dying. Nonetheless, he offered Triton the armor proper to school of the magic discus. Triton walked away slowly in the distance. His formation was not totally finished. However, he became this day an operational magician, a war mage of the school of the flying magic disc.